Why am I here? What's my purpose on the planet? Hey everybody, it's George Carroll. Welcome to this week's Motivational Minutes. So how do you get unstuck from a rut? Well, over a decade ago, I got into the personal development industry as a result of depression in the corporate world. Now, I'm not knocking the corporate world. I've got a lot of corporate clients. It just wasn't a place for me to grow and expand. And I remember 2.5 years of being with a specific company, realizing I hate my bosses. I hate my products and services that I offer. I hate everything that I'm doing right now. I feel purposeless and I feel like I'm not really making a difference. After 2.5 years of just staying there, I got into this state of depression. I remember waking up one morning, all this frustration had built up in over time, and I woke up and kind of like, those geysers, geysers work by all the water pressure that builds up, and all of a sudden, poof, the water squirts out, and that's kind of what happened to me. This frustration had built up over time. I woke up in the fetal position one morning. I started crying like, why am I here? What's my purpose on the planet? And I started asking some really big questions. And a week later, I found myself in the Denver Public Library. And I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew I was looking for something. So got on the escalator and I started going up to this is the escalator. Started going up to see the escalator. Started going up to the second floor, and I got to the second floor, and all of a sudden, oh, I see this whole section that says personal development. So it kind of pulls me over there. I go over there and I'm reading the spines of the books, right? And I'm reading the different titles of the books. And I see this one book and it says Unlimited Power by Anthony Robbins. And I thought, unlimited power, that's something I can use right about now. So I pull out the book, I open it, and have you ever read a book and it kind of gave you chills? Well, this is one of those books for me. Over a decade ago, I found this book and I started to get really inspired. So I went on this media fast where I literally cut off my cable. I stopped watching television, stopped watching the news, stopped watching everything basically. And I started flooding my mind with this personal development information. Started reading books like crazy, Psycho-Cybernetics, Think and Grow Rich. I started reading as many books as I possibly could. And while I was in my car driving from appointment to appointment and things like that, I would flood my mind with more personal empowerment material. And over the course of 90 days, I sort of felt myself powerfully come out of this rut that I was in. And I felt so inspired. I gave my 2 weeks notice, to the company that I was working for at the time. And I got super inspired. And by the end of those 2 weeks, I wasn't teaching what I was supposed to be teaching and training on as a manager with that company. I was teaching what I was learning out of these books, and my reps thought I went crazy, and I had 3 of them come up to me and say, hey, George, you should be a motivational speaker. You should be a motivational speaker. You should be a motivational speaker. And I don't know what your religious or spiritual beliefs are, but I do believe that the universe communicates to us in a lot of different ways. And in a lot of cases, it's through other people if we're willing to listen. And so I went on, within 3.5 years after sort of getting inspired and getting out of that rut. Within 3.5 years, I had started a speaking, training, and coaching business, which now 6.5 years ago. And as I look back, I saw that the fastest way that I got out of a rut, the fastest way was to bring new information into my universe, to bring new information into my stew of consciousness, if you will. So here's a great example. If you've got like stinking thinking going on and you're stuck in a rut and you can't figure out how to get out, well, the information you currently have going on in here is simply going to recreate the rut that you're in. So you need to allow new information to come into your mind. So my challenge to you is over the next 30 days, go on a media diet or go on a media fast where you stop listening to junk on the radio, where you stop watching the news on television, and you start flooding your mind with books and personal empowerment information. What this will do is create a dilution process. So let's say, for example, that I've got a cup of Diet Coke here, and this cup of Diet Coke represents the sort of the poison mindset that I got going on. And then let's say I just start flooding water into this cup, and the cup will overflow. Eventually, what will happen is the Diet Coke will completely dilute itself out, and the water will encompass the entire cup. Same thing with our mindset. When we allow new information in consistently, when we flood our mindset with new information, it starts to dilute the old mindset out, the old stinking thinking out, and as a result of that, we get out of a rut and we start to see things clearly. Because if you've heard of that concept, junk in, junk out, How it works is whatever you feed your mind is what your brain will paint as your reality. So for example, I know some people who just watch the news all the time. They watch murder mysteries and they watch cops, and so as a result of just letting that information in, they paint this view of reality that says people are dangerous and the world is dangerous. Well, if you're willing to allow new information to come in and over the course of the next 30 days to go on this media fast and just flood your mind with new information, learning new concepts and ideas, what will happen is you'll start to view things differently and see things differently. You'll get out of the rut, and as a natural side effect of allowing all that new information in, new action can then take place.